Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in. We have a very, very, very special guest tonight on Dodgers Daily. Taylor Young from Louisiana Tech, West Monroe, Louisiana, joins Dodgers Daily. So, Taylor, thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Casey. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on. Even sacrifice a little World Series time for you.
Hey, do you have a favorite, or do you think somebody's going to win? Can I put you on the spot there, or do you want to keep that to yourself?
No, I think the Astros have Verlander to go tonight. He had a really bad outing, the first outing, so I think he comes back with vengeance, and I think he's going to be good. The Astros are going to win tonight.
Okay, so you're known for your mental toughness, your grit. Just, I believe your college coach, Coach Burrows, labeled you as a dirtbag, which in baseball, that's like the biggest compliment you could possibly get from a coach. So I want to kind of have a light moment here with you early on. I love your story. I'm going to have a blast telling the story to Dodgers fans. But 2017, you graduate from West Monroe High School. This last year in 2022, Coach Semino and the boys, they actually won the state title. You guys and your team, your senior year, you won 38 games, made it to the state finals. So 2017 plays 2022. Who wins that game?
Well, I'm never, ever going to not bet on myself or the 2017. There's your answer right there. But no, they earned every bit of the state championship. Super proud of them. Obviously, West Monroe is my alma mater, so I'm just super proud of them and happy they could do that. But actually, me and Jacob Pearson are still close now, who actually me and him graduated together. And he has a younger brother, John, who's on the team who won the state championship. And he asks John all the time, he's like, who do you think will win? And John actually says we would win. So there's your answer right there.
Yeah, and of course, if you have Taylor Young roaming the infield, he played every infield position in high school. You played every infield position there at Louisiana Tech. You even played shortstop with 2 broken fingers at one point. So let's go all the way back. Very cool that you got to play for Coach Seminole there at West Monroe, who was the head coach at Louisiana Tech. I mean, you had Louisiana Tech in your blood. One of your assistant coaches there in high school also went to Louisiana Tech, and then Coach Burrows, who recruited you to Northwestern State, then got the Louisiana Tech job. But let's back up, talk about Coach Semino and your time at West Monroe. And I know you played football too, so.
Right, yeah, Coach Semino, he got there my sophomore year, and I had him for 3 years, and it was really great. Him coming in, obviously, new coach, you're not sure what to expect, but he made it easy on us, easy transition from going from freshman to sophomore year, not knowing who the coach was going to be and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, he made it easy transition, and I think we made it pretty easy on him too. The older we got, made it easier on him. He didn't really have to coach as much because we were pretty dang stacked. I think we had like 6 or 7 D1 players on a team full of 9 starters, on a baseball field. So pretty incredible. I think actually every single one of us who started went on to play baseball after high school at the D1 level or went to play D1 baseball. So pretty incredible stat there, and to not have a state championship as well.
Yeah, and of course 38 wins, and we all know when it comes down, especially in high school, and I've coached high school for 30 years, when it comes down to that one game, anything can happen in baseball. So awesome career there, and you are set to go to Northwestern State there in Louisiana, and then Coach Burrows, who was the head coach there, then gets the job at Louisiana Tech. So you end up at Louisiana Tech. So take us through that process.
Yeah. So actually, as Burrows left, Bobby Barbier was the head coach, and I actually never even met Burrows while he was at Northwestern State. Bobby Barbier and his assistants at the time called me after a game at ULM during the fall, and they offered me on the way home. And of course, when I got home, I told my parents, and they were just ecstatic. And that my mom was like crying; she was so happy because she thought the day would never come. But actually, Northwestern State offered me first, and then about a week later, Coach Burrows called me and he's like, "Hey, I want you to come to the field, and we'll take you on a little visit and offer you and stuff like that." And Coach Burrows, what he's meant to me, and then in the 5 years I had at Tech, technically playing, just speaks for itself. He's like a second father to me, and he treats me like his own son. So, but when I went to Tech for the visit, he he just hooked me. I don't know, just something about him. He was just like, hey, you're my type of player. I want you to come here. And so after that, I mean, the rest is history.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to talk about your time at Louisiana Tech, and I'm still a little bit upset because in 2021, Oklahoma State, I'm a big Oklahoma State fan. I grew up in Stillwater, went to OSU, and in 2021, all indications were that we were going to come to Louisiana Tech, to that regional that you guys got to host. We instead went to Arizona, which is like 9,000 hours away from Stillwater. I was going to go to the Love Shack in Louisiana Tech and check out that place for the first time. Didn't get to do it. So take us through all that. What did I miss?
Yeah, the Love Shack was rocking in 2021. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. We had the hottest team in the country come in, so that kind of stunk. But NC State came in, and obviously they ultimately made it to the World Series, and then the COVID hit and all that big scandal happened. But they were the best team in the country, no doubt. They would have won the World Series. I don't care what anyone says. They were the hottest team. And all that matters once you get into the postseason is who's the hottest team.
Sure.
And they were by far the hottest team. I think they had probably 300 hits in a 4-game series at our place. They were banging the ball over the park. But, yeah, I mean, it was incredible. The fans at Louisiana Tech, they showed up and showed out, and they have continued to do that since really my junior year at Louisiana Tech, the COVID junior year, and then my real junior year, then senior year. The fans have been incredible. I think we've sold out. We've maxed out the stands every year, selling out the season tickets. So everyone shows up and supports the local Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. So really, it's the place to be as a mid-major school, and I can't express that enough at what Coach Burrows and Coach Gaspard and Coach Cooper Faust have done. Yeah,
and part of that is you had a tornado come through Monroe, Louisiana, or not Monroe, but Ruston, I guess it would have been, and tear down the old stadium, which is terrible. But with every tragedy, there's opportunity, and they had the opportunity to rebuild. And the football stadium's called Love Field too, the same as baseball, behind the same donor. But got a new baseball stadium out of it, and I have only seen pictures and videos. But the Love Shack, you have the rally train going on there, and the fans are in their lawn chairs, and they're just packed, and it looks like an awesome place. Take us through what it's like playing at the Love Shack.
Yeah, so obviously the tornado came through, and I believe it was 2019, and ironically you say that, tragedy, happened. It was terrible. The condolences go out to the people who lost family in that tragedy. But with tragedy came the Love Shack, the new Love Shack, and it is a blessing in disguise, to be honest. And when the new stadium was built, I don't know what happened, but it just brought about a new demeanor to Louisiana Tech baseball and what it meant to the community to have something to look forward to, even if it's a week game or if it's a weekend game, just something to look forward to, something to get your mind off of work or a busy week or something like that. And just to go out and have fun and visit with friends and even people you don't know from all over the country that come to play at the field. And just having that new field there, like I said, brought a new demeanor to Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, and it just means more. Once you have something that's that amazing, you don't want to not produce. And Coach Burrows had a saying, everybody loves winners. So when you play on that home field, you got to be a winner.
You've mentioned Coach Burrows a couple of times. I mentioned it earlier how he nicknamed you the Dirt Bag. And what does that mean to you? I mean, that's got to be really cool, right? That's a cool nickname.
Yeah, it is. And not to sound, like I'm tooting my own horn, but just about every coach I've ever played for has called me that, because I remember dating back and looking at old photos when I was 9 years old. I would be covered in dirt head to toe. So even if I didn't make any plays or didn't do anything cool, I think I just tried to get dirty and just be the dirtiest on the field so I could give my mom a headache when she had to clean it. But no, I don't know. I've always had that nickname. I remember looking at old photos from, when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, and I would just be covered head to toe in dirt. So even if I didn't actually play hard, it really did look like
it. So, the Dodgers love versatility. And I know you played third base in high school, and then in college you played both second base and shortstop. And like I said a minute ago, you actually played shortstop at Louisiana Tech with 2 broken fingers, trying to throw the ball to first base with 3 healthy fingers. So talk about your versatility in your game defensively. We'll talk about your offense here in a minute. You had the most amount of hits of of anybody in the history of Louisiana Tech. So congratulations for that. And you also were the Defensive Player of the Year in Conference USA as well. So talk about your versatility.
Thank you. I've never been the biggest, strongest, fastest guy on the field, and
5'9", is that right? 5'9"?
Yeah, with cleats on, we'll say that. But yeah, like I said, I've never been the biggest, fastest, or strongest guy on the field. Showcases were never really good for me. I could never just go out and hit the ball 400 feet or throw the ball 95 across the diamond like other guys could. Don't get me wrong, that's really good, and coaches love that and scouts love that. But the way that I'm gonna show and prove that I can play at any level is during a game, and just my baseball IQ and just being able to play any position on the field, like you said, versatility. Just being able to play in any position, know every position on the field, because you never know what might happen. Someone might go down, or you might need to be asked to play a different position, and just to be comfortable with doing whatever the team needs in that given point in time to win the ball game, I'll do it. So I'll play left, center, right. I'll play catcher if I got to. I will play first, but I don't know if infielders want to throw. But I will play first if they need me to.
Yeah, I'm not sure that 5'9" with cleats on that professional infielders would want to throw it over to that guy. And of course, we're joking right now. That is very, very funny. But hey, very cool scenario. Of course, you loved playing at the Love Shack. You can tell that this guy loves baseball. He loved Louisiana Tech. He loved being a Bulldog. And so it just all fit together perfectly. And so after your season last year, before you got drafted, very cool moment that you actually proposed at the Love Shack, or is that correct? Can you take us through all that?
Correct. And ironically, it's named the Love Shack too. It was literally picture perfect. She had no idea. We were having like a quote unquote senior, last party, last get together type deal with the seniors who were still there, who hadn't already went home and stuff. So we met up at the field in the meeting room upstairs, which is right above the hidden facility. And it's got a big meeting room. We had like tables and chairs and everything set out, and just a lot of finger food and a lot of mingling, a lot of good times, like telling memories and just reliving the past basically one more time. And when we walked in, or while we were on the way there, she was like, "Hey, I've never been in the locker room or like seen the field and stuff like that." So I was like, "Oh, that's perfect." I was going to take you down the field anyway. I didn't actually say that, but I was thinking in my mind, I was like, "Oh, yes." Takes a little bit of stress off me because I was going to try to go on the. And so as soon as we walked in the door, I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go see the field now, or do you want to see it later?" She's like, "Well, I'll just see it later." So I was like, "Okay, thank goodness you didn't say now, because I'm not supposed to pros till whatever time, right before dark, 7:30, just say." And so we go upstairs, we mingle, we eat and stuff like that. Of course, I'm stressed out and I'm ready to get it over with. So 7:30 comes around and I'm like, "Hey, like, you want to go see the field?" And so she's like, "Sure." So we go down there. I walk her down there. I'm like, "Hey, like, I didn't get the closure of being on the field for the last time. Our season ended at Texas, so I want to be at the Love Shack one more time. So will you walk out to shortstop with me?" She's like, "Yeah, of course." And as soon as we step over the foul line, the rally train starts coming by.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. And so the rally train gets right behind the scoreboard, which is in right field. And so we're looking at the scoreboard, and we both throw our hands up and do like the choo-choo train signal, and the train honks its horn, whatever. And then the rest is history. I got it on one knee, asked her to marry me, and the scoreboard said, "Madison, will you marry me?" And she was obviously in complete shock and went straight boo-hoo crying. But yeah, it was picture perfect.
And said yes?
Of course.
Okay, and I know that your mom played a big role in putting together all of that scenario and taking you to all the games and all that. I know you're very close with your family, and you have a whole bunch of people that have given you a big support center, a big support structure. So this is your time to thank all of those people.
Well, my mom's standing here listening to me right now, so she'd kill me if I didn't say thank you to her first. But just thank you to everyone who's been a part of it, and especially my mom and my dad, and then my stepdad, Scott, my stepmom, Tina, and then my brothers. I have three brothers. Oldest, Garrett. Middle one is Tanner, and then youngest is Bax. Just extremely grateful for everything that y'all have done for me up to this point in my career, and I hope to bring y'all much more joy in the game that I play, and that is baseball. And I'm extremely thankful for everything y'all have done.
Yeah, you mentioned bringing more joy, and you have that opportunity because you got drafted this past year by the Dodgers, and boy, you guys, your whole 2022 draft class hit the ground running. So take us through what draft day was like for you, where you were at, how it all went down, how you found out all that. I love hearing stories like this.
Yeah, so obviously got drafted on the second day, which is rounds 3 through 10, I believe.
Yeah, eighth round for you. Yeah.
Yes. And so we're sitting here, and I think it started at 11 o'clock in the morning, I believe, and was going to last till, whenever it's finished. And in the second day and third day, the picks are like 30 seconds. So it's like boom, 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 like picks are coming in quick. And so we're sitting here, and it gets to like the sixth round, and I was expecting to go like 7 to 10, somewhere in there is what I've been told. So, seventh round comes around, and I get a call from the Padres, and they're like, "Hey, will you take X amount?" And I'm like, "Yes, I will." And so they call back, and he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure." And he's like, "Okay, I'll let you know. Just stay by your phone." And so then the eighth round comes around, Padres pick goes by, and they don't pick me. So we're like, okay. So eighth round comes around, the Orioles call me, like, "Hey, will you take this?" And I'm like, "Yes." I was just saying yes to anything. It didn't matter at this point. I just needed an opportunity. And so Orioles say, "Take this." I was like, "Yes." And they're like, "All right, we'll call you back." Directly after that, pick like 154, Dodgers call me, and they're like, "Hey, will you take X amount?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yes.
He's like, "All right, well, watch the TV." And literally within 10 seconds, my name was on the TV and everything. And it literally happened that fast. So didn't even have time to like process everything. We're all super obviously excited and jumping around, screaming, hollering, and everything else in the living room, and had the whole family here. So it was great. And it really happened super fast. So didn't have much time to like get ready for it or anything like that. It was just like, okay, here it is. All right, there it is.
Hey, that's perfect. Kind of like playing baseball that you just react. You don't have to think about it too much, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's one of those moments that you, your family, all the people we just talked about a minute ago that helped you get to the point where you're at, a moment that you guys will never forget. So you get your Dodgers career started and you go out to Rancho Cucamonga. And I tell you what, like I mentioned a minute ago, the 2022 draft class with Dalton Rushing and Fromke and McLean and Biddison, I'm going to miss some. So Bubba, I'm going to miss some of those guys, as far as not getting all the names. So I'm going to stop there. But you guys really hit the ground running, didn't you? You guys looked like you had a whole lot of fun. You scored a lot of runs.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. When we got there in Rancho, they immediately they threw us in the fire, basically said, "Here, go do what you do. You're going to fail, but we want to see how you respond. Some of the guys are going to have success, some are not. We want to see, we just want to get your feet wet, basically, just get you accustomed to what pro ball life is like." And I mean, obviously it was a blast. Me and Bubba were actually roommates, so me and him got to be super close. I think he's going to come down to Louisiana to see what Louisiana is like because, he's from Philadelphia. So he's having a blast right now with the World Series as well. So I'm hoping he's having a good time.
So are you an Astros fan? I don't mean to cut you off, but are you an Astros fan?
I used to be, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, and Bubba grew up in Philadelphia, right? So there's kind of a connection there, isn't there?
Yeah, he's a diehard Phillies fan and Eagles fan. So he's having the time of his life in Philadelphia right now. I think he's been to every game, if not right outside the stadium for sure. But yeah, he called me the other night and he was like, "Dude, you need to come up here right now. It's awesome," stuff like that. So, but I do think he's going to come down here to Louisiana, get a little taste of some crawfish and some gumbo and stuff like that because he never had real food.
Yeah, I've had it in Monroe, Louisiana. I have been to the Louisiana Territory Zoo there in Monroe, Louisiana, and I have had all that crawfish and gumbo. And if Bubba Oline watches this and you hear this, Bubba, do it because it is absolutely fantastic. It is worth doing. It is awesome. But just to make it clear for Dodgers fans, you can see the hat on there, LA. Totally a Dodgers fan now, right? Okay. So we've made that conversion. So I like to finish my interviews with guys like you. We mentioned 5'9". You didn't have all the measurables. You talked about going to all the showcase tournaments. You didn't throw the ball 95 across the diamond. you're like every other kid growing up. I mean, as far as, the 5'9" size and not, not everybody's 6'4" and has the huge arms. So you have the perfect message for kids. What message do you have for those kids that are out there that want to become Taylor Young someday and get in the position you're in?
Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. Once you set your mind to something, do it to your fullest potential. Do it to your hardest working. Like, don't stop working. Don't let anybody hold you back. Anything is possible. And it's ironic you asked me that question, because I had to turn my phone around for this interview, and because I have a crack on my front camera. So I turned it around, and on my phone case actually is Philippians 4:13, and it is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so that is pretty self-explanatory there. But for all the kids who have doubted themselves or not been 100% committed, do it 100%. Don't have any self-doubt. Work hard. Don't listen to what everyone else says. Just believe in yourself, and that's what matters the most.
And I can tell you, I have people that I've communicated with that have followed Taylor Young in his career, and he absolutely is the model of all of that. So what a message from Taylor Young. This was such a joy for me and such a pleasure to get to speak with you. I'm so glad that you answered my message and chose to come on Dodgers Daily. Thank you so much. And I'll let you go and to get back to that World Series. I'm excited to see it too. So thank you so much, Taylor Young.
Thank you so much, Casey, for having me. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, let's get back to that World Series.